All right, what's going on, you cool cats and furry kittens, or whatever Carol Baskin says? We're minus the doc, so it's just the dudes today till Doc decides to show up. So we got me and Preston Perez, the GM, and Dwayne Soto, the baseball aficionado, in. So we're gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna have Preston lead it off for us today. Go ahead with it, bub.
All righty, I'm gonna put my sunglasses on because it's a good day for Big 12, people. They should call this whole season episode 3, Revenge of the Big 12, because Texas has had a shit year, and now Oklahoma has just lost their head coach, Lincoln Riley, the dreaded people at LA, USC, and just how big of a move this is. This is a big ass domino that's fallen. It kind of shooken up this whole landscape. So first of all, how do you think he's gonna do at USC? And second, who are like some of his possible candidates here that you think are most likely to take the job? And I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I have some screenshots of a list that was comprised of some of the top candidates here real quick. So,
bro, we have this ready next time to go. We can't be doing this watching you go through your screens.
I had it open, but it wouldn't let me do it right without. Anyway, there's number one is Josh Hopel. That's who I think is going to take it. Obviously, Brent Venables, Mario Cristobal, things like that. So, just briefly here, and I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So, those are the candidates. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
No, Lee, bring that back up.
Bring that back up.
Yeah, I'll go through it. We'll go through it kind of one by one and talk about them.
Okay. There we go.
All right, so let's start at the bottom. Let's go with Cliff Kingsbury, right? Do you really think he'd leave the NFL? I mean, Arizona's doing pretty well. He's had 2 years now. He's kind of introed his offense in there. They're the with Kyler Murray was there. They were the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL. Their defense wasn't as good as it was the year before, but I mean, they're still doing good. Do you think Cliff would leave that spot to come to his school's rival in OU?
I don't see it. I mean, you barely got your thing going in Arizona. It took you a little bit. It's kind of like what you said with the Jeff trailer a few weeks ago. It's like it's building a house. He just got that house finished and everything like that. Having to go somewhere and blow it up and build brick by brick again, I really don't see it.
I don't see it either, but I mean, from everything I've seen, and on Twitter and whatnot, is that he's there. There's got to be at least a little bit. Like I said, I don't think he'll go back to college. I don't think he meshed well with like the collegiate aspect, like the recruiting and all that. He's doing well for himself at Arizona. But I think there is at least some interest. Maybe he'll sit down and visit with them. I don't know if it goes further than that. But from everything I've read is that he's got 1 year left with Arizona on his contract. So he's really just using it as leverage, I think, to get more money. I mean, I think that's what it is. And like I said, I don't know. There may be some interest. Maybe there's a little bit, but I don't think he'll drop back down to the college ranks.
Okay. All right. So let's go with that next one on your list with Lane Kiffin. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but yesterday Lane Kiffin posted a tweet with his BMW with a Louisiana license plate. So yeah. Let me bring that up. It was pretty funny and it was bad for Ole Miss. Come on, I can't get to it. So be really cool if I could figure out how to get to it, but
I think Preston has to stop sharing.
Do you want to stop sharing?
No, leave yours up. It's good. Anyway, he posted a Twitter. He posted on Twitter a picture of his BMW with a Louisiana license plate on it. That's all it did. Didn't say nothing, didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the Ole Miss, fan base is kind of freaking out because he's done a pretty good job there. But over the past decade, Lane Kiffin has been the subject of a lot of drama when it comes to head coaching carousels. with USC, Tennessee. He's kind of been the focal point for a lot of. Where was he at before that? After that,
FAU.
FAU.
Yeah,
then
that's
he
where
went to
he's
Ole
at. I
Miss.
was thinking Florida, UCF.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Lane Kiffin going to LSU?
I think he would. I think he would be a fit. I don't know. I don't know. I think he would be a fit. He's got the SEC experience at Alabama, now at Ole Miss. So I think he would be a fit. I don't know if it'll happen.
I think he's definitely like a top 3 candidate, but I think my top candidate for the LSU job is surprisingly good old Bob from Houston, Bill O'Brien. I think he'll get another shot here pretty soon. So,
All right. Well, I don't see Matt Campbell as even a candidate really.
For me.
He's within the Big 12, which is good, but Iowa State really hasn't been relevant enough because one thing we have to remember is OU's going to SEC.
Mhm.
So the big thing with SEC is those big O head coaches' names. One name that I do think that should be on here is Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen just got released from Florida. He's a hell of a football coach, and I'm surprised his name hasn't even came up on any of this. So that's a big one that I don't think's on here. What do you guys think about Dan Mullen going to OU or LSU?
I don't think they'd hire him at LSU. I don't know enough about him. I know Florida hadn't been the Florida of old. I don't know enough about it. So I don't really know. I just don't think he'd end up at LSU. OU maybe. I don't think LSU though.
I'm kind of on the same boat with Dwayne. LSU is definitely not. I mean, they had to play LSU, had to play Florida. Obviously, they're in conference. So the LSU folks have gotten plenty, looks at Dan Mullen. They have their opinion of him. But, in terms of Dan Mullen as a whole, I think the thing that scares off big programs from Dan Mullen is, like you said, he's a good coach. I'm taking nothing away from him. But there's that question is, can he get you that next step? Can he take you to the national championship? And as far as that's concerned, that's a no. So.
But I think that can be said for a lot of the coaches on that list. I mean, none of those guys on that list really have taken any of those programs to the next step. So I don't really think that's an argument. I mean, yeah, you want somebody that can, but none of those guys on that list have taken anybody to the next step. So I don't know if I don't know.
I'm gonna pull a doc right now, and I guarantee you he would say that Brent Venables is taking Clemson to that next level with their defense. Because before Brent Venables got there, they were horrible on defense, and it was Deshaun Watson that really pulled them through the games.
See, and I just saw a tweet of Brent Venables' son. It's Brent Venables' son and DJ, the quarterback from Clemson, and they have it's a snap. Somebody took a screenshot of a snap, and there's 3 guys in the picture. They have their horns down, and it says Sooner on it. So I don't know, and of course Venables is up at the top. So maybe, yeah.
Plus, I mean, he's played the Alabamas, and he's had very much success playing against Alabama.
Wasn't he an OU guy, Venables, at one time?
No, Kansas. I mean, I know he played at Kansas State, so he's familiar with OU and stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought he was on OU staff at one time or another.
Because that's one. Because he was a big target for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Because him and Kirby had played together at Kansas State.
Yeah, but Texas Tech is not a huge destination for coaches.
I didn't say that.
Well, we're not even going to start.
We got a linebackers coach.
Yeah, I will say this, that I'm really pleased to see that they're going to keep on Cumbie.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that too.
Yeah,
they're going to keep him on as OC. He's done a really good job. They lost to Baylor by 3. So
I wasn't expecting that.
I wouldn't either, but I'm really pleased about that. All right, Preston, you got anything else on it? You got any final closing arguments on your?
I got one real quick. I had seen it earlier, and it goes back to Tech not being really a destination. And I don't understand how so many people, like, not so many people, just how I guess Tech fans are saying that Lincoln Riley's not a good hire for USC, and I just don't understand how Tech fans of all fans are saying that about Lincoln Riley. And yeah, he's got the ties and with Tech and all that stuff. I just don't understand how I guess people are hating on that hire for him going to USC. I don't understand that. Have y'all seen any of that or what?
Yeah. I've seen all of it. The Viva the Matadors, especially saying, he's
Yeah.
that landed in a good nest and stuff like that. And Dwayne, it's like, when you break up with a girlfriend and then the ex-girlfriend gets somebody better than you. You don't want her to be doing better than you. You want her to be doing worse.
Well,
Like you said, he's got the ties and everything like that. So it's like our prodigal son has left us and is doing better than than we thought without us. So
Yeah, I just don't understand how what would you say, the Viva the Matador or whatever, they're saying that he's not a good hire. I'm like, damn, Tech hired a freaking linebackers coach, not a coordinator. They hired a freaking linebackers coach. And like you said, in 2 weeks, like, come on. I know this isn't Tennessee or Clemson or Oregon, whatever's on that list there, but I mean, surely they could have got somebody better than, and I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him because he's put in his time, but I mean, I just don't see how they're hating on Lincoln Riley for going to USC and we hired a damn linebackers coach. So,
well,
I don't know.
there's the old adage of don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house.
Yeah.
Glass is almost broken every 2 years when we have to hire a new glass house coach. So
Yeah, exactly.
That's like me talking about cricket. Look, I can horse shit around it all day, but I don't know a damn thing about it. So, I mean, personally, I would put the Matador and their idea about Lincoln Riley about as high as I would Iowa State talking about, the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick coaching ability.
Yeah, exactly.
It's to Iowa State, not at all. But I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous to me. So
yeah,
everybody's got their own opinion. Sometimes it just needs to be kept quiet because you don't have any ground to stand on.
Yeah, agreed.
But in closing, I think this is a great hire for USC. I mean, I could see him, give him a year. He could bring USC back to prominence like they were with the Reggie Bushes and the Manners. He's a great offensive mind. He's Hollywood. He can recruit California. So
he's already had a bunch of kids decommit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a great
Well,
hire.
speaking on that, because I was just going to hit on that. So Oklahoma just lost. Who did they just lose?
They lost a 5-star.
They lost a
quarterback,
5-star quarterback.
And 2 4-stars and a 5-star. I don't remember their positions.
Brandon Ennis, who was a 5-star recruit, he was a 5-star wide receiver. He announced his decommitment on Oklahoma on Sunday. He hasn't said where he's signing. 4-star running back Trayon Webb, he decommitted. And then quarterback Malachi Nelson, he's the number 2 recruit in the nation, announced his decommitment.
Spencer Rattler just said he
The
was.
thing is, though, the number 2 recruit in the nation, that Malachi Nelson, he's from Los Alamitos, California. So my question would be that Riley had all these guys lined up. How interested would you be to see, how likely do you think it's going to be that they follow him to USC?
I think
very likely. Yeah.
I think Spencer Rattler may follow him to USC.
No.
I think Spencer Rattler. I think when he got benched, it hurt Spencer Rattler's feelings too much.
Well, he just announced he's entering the transfer portal, so it'd be interesting to see where he lands.
Yeah,
I didn't ever really believe all the hype on him.
That relationship between Spencer Rattler and Coach Riley or Lincoln Riley it's done. But in terms of, I could see those guys following him in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have a few stragglers who they go somewhere else like a TCU or whatever. But majority of those recruits are going to follow him to Southern Cal.
Yeah.
But to Spencer Rattler's argument, he followed Baker Mayfield, who won the Heisman. He followed Kyler Edwards, who won the Heisman, and Jalen Hurts, who was Was he second in Heisman voting?
Second Heisman voting.
Yeah, 3 years in a row. Well,
Yeah.
4 years because Kyler had 2 seasons, but I think I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I hope they do follow him because I tell you what, I would much rather go to California than Oklahoma,
Yeah, no crap.
especially for your NIL, just your NIL deals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Oklahoma, you can go to Bob Stoops Ford and do his thing, or you can go to LA and do, you know, the crypto center now for old Staples Center. So,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my thing is like we said, he had a good thing going there. So I'm curious to see, in the following weeks, was it something with administration, or did USC really just bank up the Brinks trucks and said, "Come on, here's all your money"? So
Yeah, because I mean, granted, on Sunday he's like, "I'm not going to LSU," which he obviously didn't. I wonder. Yeah, I just wonder if there's something else going on, or yeah, I just if there's something going on, if there's a rift in there somewhere.
yeah. All right, man, that was a good one, bro. That was a good one, Press. I liked it.
yeah. All right,
What do you got, Dwayne?
All right, so y'all know me, big basketball fan that I am. So I've just been seeing LeBron, and LeBron's a hell of a basketball player, top 5 for sure. I don't know enough I don't know. Anyway, it's just been curious to see, I guess his behavior the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he gets into that altercation with that, where was it from like the Nuggets or something like that? He punches that guy or elbows that guy.
The Pistons.
Was it on purpose? Was it just a play? And then that guy goes after him. He gets suspended the 2 games. LeBron gets 1. And then last week, I guess late last week, middle of last week, he gets those fans that are sitting courtside. They get ejected. I don't know. I've read that they were yelling death threats at him. They were yelling death threats at Bronny, or yelling death threats to him about Bronny and him. So he got those 2 people ejected, and then he gets fined for doing an obscene gesture after he makes a basket. So I'm not a basketball fan. I can't stand basketball because of crap like that. I don't know. Is it LeBron just kind of, he's been in the league, 15 years or so? Is that him just being fed up with everything that, he's like, F it. I'm going to act the way I want to act. And if people don't like it, screw them. I'm going to do me. I'm just curious on what y'all's thoughts are on that, or what y'all think about the past couple weeks with him.
I'll go with Dwayne on that. Yeah, it's just a little bit of that vet syndrome. He's a year like 19 or something like that. Yeah, he's been in the league a long time. He's been a superstar for a long time. So maybe a little bit of like inflated head, whatever, and stuff like that. But I think it's also frustration because of the team that he's built there. He brought in Russell Westbrook, he brought in AD, he brought in Carmelo Anthony, he brought in all these pieces, and guess what? They're not working out. It's not going as well as we thought. You got too many personalities in there to be cohesive, and just when that stuff happens, it heightens your irritability, it heightens your sensibility to certain things, and I think that's what's happening. But it's also the price of fame. Being the most famous basketball player on the earth, everything you do is going to be magnified to a certain extent. So,
I think you guys all know from our past conversations about LeBron how I feel about him. However, I will say that he is statistically one of the best players in the NBA that the NBA has ever seen. Personally, they do talk about him playing back in the early 90s and with when basketball was a little bit rougher and could he handle it and things like that. I will also say that playing in the Palace in Detroit back in the early 90s, LeBron couldn't hang just because of the fans. They were vicious back then. You read these articles on how they used to be and how they talk. It's just as bad as being in a football game. I mean, it's bad, bro. They're saying words that I didn't even know existed. So it was that bad. But the big thing is, man, is LeBron is as I don't know if he's mentally tough.
Right.
Back at all of his career.
I don't think he's physically tough either.
Well, I mean, I can't say that because he can drive to the hole. When he was younger, he could drive to the hole and do whatever he wanted.
How old is he?
He's
35.
Yeah, but he's been in the league since he was like 18 years old.
Well, he's tougher
Yeah.
than me. I'll just say that.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's 6'8",
Yeah, he is.
220, 230. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
But the thing is you look back, basketball is a real mental sport. Granted, if anybody came out and said, hey, death to your son and stuff like this, and there was actually somebody that was videoing these people as LeBron was playing who recorded them saying some of these things.
Yeah.
That brought new light to it. But also you have to understand, man, that's going to happen anyway. But it's the mental toughness. It's saying, you know what? You can talk all this mess you want. You just paid $4,000 a seat to watch me play. I'm getting paid like $200,000 just to play this game right now. So, who's really the winner and loser here?
Yeah.
I'm still going home to my comfortable life. And, you're going to go home thinking that you riled me up. But going throughout his career, whether it be late free throws, whether it be other altercations that he's got in, it was really funny to watch against the Pistons when he threw that elbow. Because usually if you look at it, there was one play, Austin Rivers, I remember 2 years back, Austin Rivers, LeBron just hit a runner from the free throw line. He missed it, got a foul called. Austin Rivers took the ball and threw it and accidentally hit LeBron James in the head. LeBron turned around like he was going to do something. But when he elbows a dude that's a little bit bigger than him,
see, I guess that's what I'm
saying. Oh, my bad, bro, my bad. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's at the back of, he's that kid that he's gonna run his mouth until somebody's like, all right, dude, let's go. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, no, I was just joking. So I guess that's kind of what got me. Like, granted, like you were saying, basketball in the 90s, those dudes would have just fist fought on the court. Like, there's no question. They would have fist fought, they would have got ejected, and then that was it. That's, and I'm not saying that that's what they should have done, but, I agree with that mentally tough stuff. He elbowed him, and then he's at the very back, almost at the other end of the court while everybody's in the middle. He's like, I don't want no part of that guy. So, yeah, I agree with that.
He's just lucky it wasn't Jokic, because didn't you see what Jokic did a few weeks ago?
Oh, dude.
Brothers.
I tell you what, man, those Morris brothers, those are the dirtiest dudes I've seen play. They could play in the 80s. They could play in the 90s. The Morris brothers could. They got that mean streak in them. But the way LeBron James flops and flips and talks about things, and, he's a good guy when it comes to public service, especially to his hometown.
Yeah.
It's just the mental toughness that he lacks. I
agree.
I don't know. So, but that's me on that. So good luck, LeBron. Hope you have a good year and don't stub your toe so you're out for the rest of the year. Whatever.
I'll have to carry him off.
I know. All right. So mine is Grado college football rankings. I absolutely hate these. I have no idea how they work. We went through a computer system that didn't really work too well. We went through now we have a committee that does this crap. Some of them are football related, some of them aren't. I don't get it, but then again, that's not my job. What I will do though, is I will ask this question. So Alabama had a great 4 overtime game against Auburn, unranked Auburn. Let me preface that real quick. Unranked Auburn, right? So the question I have is this. What does Alabama have to actually do to not make it in the bowl championship series? Because it's definitely not playing, because they play all these cats and just absolutely demolish a lot of them. But they lost They lost to Texas A&M earlier this year on October 9th. They beat Mississippi State, Tennessee, LSU. LSU barely. They won by 6 points, right? That was a great game. Then they played New Mexico State, which is 59-3. Number 21, Arkansas. But then they go to Auburn and they win by 2 in the fourth overtime. And they had absolutely no chance in that whole game. Auburn had to give it back to them to win, right? So my question is this, is now you have Auburn, who has officially whooped Alabama, but you have Alabama in the FBS rankings, they're number 3. In the coaches poll, they're number 4. Lost closely to 2 unranked teams. Michigan just beat Ohio State. Georgia hasn't lost to anybody ever, it doesn't seem like. And you got Cincinnati, who's undefeated. And then Notre Dame, who's had a good season. You know, Oklahoma State just they just played Oklahoma and beat Oklahoma. They moved it up to 7. My question is this, is what does Alabama have to do to get kicked out of the bowl championship series? Do you think if they play, well, I'll go with that first. Is the college football ranking somewhat biased towards the name Alabama?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just like they are with the name Notre Dame, you know. Notre Dame's going to be in the top 25 every year. So Alabama's going to be in the top 5 every year. So yeah, there's definitely a bias just with the name that they carry.
Yeah, just like Texas every year. Oh, Texas, they have all this talent. They're number 15, and they go out and shit the bed. So
Yeah.
but I mean, at this point, there's no way they don't end up in the, at least the top 4 and in the playoff. Because if they lose to Georgia, because it's going to be Georgia and them meeting in the SEC championship. If they lose to Georgia, yeah, they're going to justify, oh, they lost to Georgia. Georgia's number 2, number 1,
Yeah. In the SEC championship game, they deserve it.
You're expected to lose to number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
They'll justify like, okay, we'll keep them at 3 or we'll keep them at 4.
Who did you say the top 4 were, or 1 through 4 were? Georgia.
You're gonna hate me. Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Cincinnati. Ohio State just lost to Michigan.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to figure out who number 2 was. Yeah, it's that name bias.
I mean,
but I don't know. I don't know who 5 through 10 could beat Alabama.
I think a lot of them would give Alabama a pretty good run for their money.
You think so?
I think so.
Now, I guess with Cincinnati, I think you can look at any of those top 4 teams. They probably beat them, but I don't know. I think Alabama, just because who they are, maybe if they lose Saturday, they get, moved to number 5 and they're out of it. I don't know. I just don't see them not getting in.
So this is my question on the FBS, right? This isn't the coaches poll. The coaches poll has, we'll just take Ohio State, for example. The coaches poll has Ohio State dropped to number 8, right? The coaches poll has Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, Alabama, and Notre Dame, and then Oklahoma State. That's the top 6, right? So I'll say them again: Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma State. The BCS poll has Georgia, which is the same, Ohio State, which just lost to Michigan. Pretty bad, too. It wasn't close.
Yeah.
Alabama's at number 3, Cincinnati's at number 4, Michigan 5, Notre Dame 6. So my question is, how do you think they figure these up? I don't know, and there may be no answer because it doesn't seem like there is. Ohio State loses pretty bad, gets moved up to 2. Alabama barely wins, gets at 3. Cincinnati's still undefeated. Michigan throps Ohio State, and they're going to the Big Ten championship. Ohio State's not. So let's say Alabama gets thropped by Georgia. Let's say Georgia beats them by 20, right? Which I don't know what the line is. I can look that up. But do you think Alabama falls out of the top 4 after that?
No,
Man,
I don't think so.
I mean, let me go back. You were talking about the polls. Man, there's so many damn polls, and they're all they have their different biases. So I think if say there's 4 polls and all 4 of them had the same top 5 teams, then yeah, you could kind of compare and go back and forth. But they're so damn they're completely different. Having Ohio State number 2, and like you said, they freaking got rocked on Saturday. So to me, it is that name bias, who you are, what you've done, what have you done for me lately type deal. But I just don't see Alabama I don't see them getting beat that bad. But even if they do get beat, I don't see them dropping out of the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, coaches poll was obviously voted on by a number of coaches. I mean, a few years ago, a big story was that Dabo Sweeney had voted Ohio State, even though they had run the table undefeated, and they played like half the games. He ranked them number 12 instead of number 4, and now he's out of it. But like I said, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, stuff like that. But in terms of the CF people, like that's the CFP committee, and that's made up of like heads of conferences. And what do we say? This is the biggest conference. The Brock Lesnar of the conferences is the SEC. So the SEC is going to get most of the bias, compared to the Big 12, who is like Spike Dudley or Eugene of the conferences. Nobody's going to pay attention to us.
I think Preston's trying to lean us towards a more wrestling focused.
I do too. I like it.
So I'm waiting.
I'm just trying to make it fun. Like, everybody hears Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, talk sport, like regular sports. I want to make it different, make it fun.
So Georgia is favored by 6.5, and that's it. 6.5 points.
Damn.
That's a lie. I think they beat them by at least 20. Like you said, 20.
I say at least they beat them by at least 10.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
it's confusing to me anymore. I don't know how to. There's no sense when everybody had the. I was talking to a buddy of mine who's a head coach, and I told him, I was like, what I'd really like to see is adopt the March Madness type of format to where all the conference champions get in no matter what.
Yeah.
And then you go from there. If you won the conference, and then you take the top 5 or the top 10 that aren't conference champions that were number 10 through the AP poll, and you go with them. I mean, it just gets ridiculous more and more each year. There's no way to, nobody knows how. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think colleges would do it because of how much money they'd lose for home games. How, where would you play the games? You could.
No. So you follow, we have 400 different bowl games.
Yeah.
Follow the same bowl schedule. I mean, like you would take whoever won the WAC and let them play the.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Let them play the winner of the SEC, and they play in the Playtex Goodyear Bowl, whatever the hell that is. I mean, the Gator Bowl, the Computer Bowl, whatever these other bowls are.
Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah, Cheez-It Bowl. The UPS, FedEx hate each other. So
I'm curious. Do y'all think Michigan is that good? You think they're a top 5 team?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they win.
You think so?
I think they went to Ohio State, right?
No, they played in the Big House.
So I mean, to beat them how they beat them.
Yeah.
Like you said, it wasn't close. It wasn't 6 points. It wasn't 3 points. It was a shellacking, and I mean, it was the career-defining win of Jim Harbaugh's career there. So.
Yeah, they're good. I flipped through some channels of them playing I've never watched, and I watched a bunch of it on Saturday, and I was impressed. I don't know if they're top 5 good, but they are pretty damn good.
I mean, I'm willing to take, let's make Alabama play Michigan, neutral site, and I'm willing to take Michigan in that game.
Yeah. Especially the way the weather was on Saturday in Michigan.
So I think that's, I think they're legit. Alabama, they get obviously favoritism. So
yeah, they're pretty good though. What bowl do y'all think Tech's going to?
Was it like the Liberty Bowl? We're playing Auburn, projected to play Auburn. We're gonna get smacked.
Really? See, I saw one where they were projected to play LSU in the Houston Bowl or something like that.
We're gonna get smacked. I mean, come on, bro.
But what do they have the pump jacks? Or is that not going to help them?
Dude, Midland's got a million pump jacks. It's still not a #1 city in America, so pump jacks don't mean shit.
Oh man.
And I'm from Midland, so
Yeah.
All right, you guys got any other stories? We got a little bit of time.
I just like I guess I have one real quick. I mean, I want to reflect on my story, that I talked about last week, that whole man in the arena. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. I've watched the first 2 episodes. Third one's coming out tomorrow. It's not like Last Dance good, but it's very good. I mean, they bring in Tom Brady, obviously, and then like some former players. Like the first episode is Drew Bledsoe and Willie McGinnis. And they talk about that whole thing between Brady and Bledsoe, who's going to start. And then the
And
second
you
one
said
is
it's just on ESPN?
ESPN Plus.
Yeah. Oh hell.
But then sometimes it airs on ESPN. I think that's going to air on ESPN tomorrow at 8:00. So if you want to, set a time or whatever. But the second episode, it's Lloydo Malloy and Rodney Harrison. And that one was very interesting because Rodney Harrison, if you remember, took Lloydo Malloy's job that season and made him go to Buffalo. And I mean, just hearing like that whole, because you could see the sadness in Lloydo Malloy's eyes. It's like, I know what I was leaving. I didn't want to leave. It's like I knew what they had. So it's just a great documentary series. Some of the, the quotes Tom Brady says is like, it's sports, professional sports, it's a business. It's hard because you do form relationships with guys. You do care about, their families, their kids. And that's how you win, is you win by caring. You win by caring about their livelihoods and their lives. And then, next minute they're gone. And that's really difficult.
So I want to, you talk about that. I want to circle back to that Lincoln Riley stuff. I saw this today and people were going back and forth, or may have been last night. People were going back and forth that saying that the way he did it was the wrong way. And college football is not a business, that they're kids and, the kids should be at the forefront. And, I get that. College football is, you're dealing with kids, but that's not high school anymore. Like you're handpicking those kids. Like if it was like high school, you would just be like, well, these are the kids I got. I'm going to get my ass kicked or I'm going to go kick some ass. So you're going out and handpicking those kids. And to me, it is a business. Like he's looking out for himself. Yeah, he wants the best for those kids, but damn, I'm looking out for me and my wife and my 2 kids, and that's what he was doing. So I just don't understand, or again, I don't understand it all, but I just don't see how people are saying it's not a business and that those kids deserve an apology from him and he should have met with them before it went public. And I just don't, people say some crazy crap.
Yeah.
So
tell those people to get out of the 50s. Because college football's been a business since the 50s.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking out for me. Like, yeah, I want the best interest for you. But, I mean, if you leave, cool, see ya. You know what? I'm leaving and I'm going to LA. So,
and I mean, things like this, it didn't happen like to yesterday. Like, I was like, I woke up and said, hey, I'm going to USC. They like met throughout the season. They, unmarked car at some gas station in the middle of nowhere.
In McDonald's in Plainview.
Yeah, and they're like, come to USC, banging the table, so. So
I real quick, I saw this tweet. This guy's a Republican candidate for the Oklahoma State Treasurer. He's a former Senate chairman guy, so he's a big politician in Oklahoma. And he's like, for those upset that Lincoln Riley's moving to South Carolina or USC, being comforted that he will pay $58,227.85 in income taxes plus 12.3% of any amount over $5,999 for the privilege of living in California. So, I mean, like people are upset, like people are hurt that he's leaving. And I mean, I saw that the last time that they had a coach leave for another school, was in the 80s. So, yeah, they have that continuity, so they don't really know. But man, I just following it the past couple hours, people are upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw his projected deal was like 10 million, 120, 130, million. So that's 20, 30 million a year. So it's like past a certain million, income tax.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah. He probably doesn't even know how much he pays. He's got an accountant that does it all.
He's like, oh, I paid, what was it? Did you say 58,000?
Yeah.
Oh, I paid 58. Oh, I got 110 million more over here. Sorry about it.
Hell, that's more than I made a year as a coach.
I mean, it's a business, that's just how it goes. You move on, you don't, it'd be nice to say goodbye to someone. Hey, I'm out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure stuff happened so fast on Sunday, and it's like you said, it wasn't just Saturday night, on the way back to Norman or Sunday morning. It was like, hey, we're going to give you this much money. They had been talking about it. They're not just going to offer you money, and so it had been in the works, and he knew.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature. It's human nature. I mean, I remember when I interviewed, my deal for Lumpkin's class, the guy, his name is Don Davis, he used to play for the Bucks. His head coach was Tony Dungy at the time. Tony Dungy, legendary coach, making a ton of money as an NFL head coach. They asked him, playing around, like, if you had won the money ball, which is at the time, the money ball back in the 90s was like $2.7 million. He's like, back then, that was a lot of money. We were talking to Coach Tony Dungy, like, if you had won the money ball, what would you do? He said, I wouldn't even say goodbye. I'd be out. I'd be gone.
Yeah.
So that's just human nature. You get a bigger bag, I'm going,
Yeah.
How do you think as a coach, how do you pick what coaches you're taking with you?
Obviously you got to see track record of success. Alex Grinch has been there. He's done well in the Big 12, and just loyalty.
Yeah, I think your coordinators, that's no question. That's almost kind of assumed that they're going to go with you if they want to. Like, assume that you're going to bring them on. Like, they know, hey, if Preston gets a job, Dustin and I, we're going with you. Or if any of us were to get a job. So I think coordinators, it's almost not a shoe-in deal or whatever. But I think coordinators know that unless I get the head job here, I'm probably going to go with him. Norman, LA, and Alex Grinch, they had talked about him getting the job, and he's like, nope, I'm out. I'm going to LA.
Yeah, it's also comfortability. It's like, it's like any business,
Yeah.
You get comfortable with your guys and you want to bring them along,
Yeah.
I know strength coach is a big one. It's really hard to find a good strength coach, one that you trust, one that has the best interest of your players in mind. So once you find a good one, hey, you're with me for life. We're joined at the hip.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is, especially because he said Benny Wiley was at UT for a little bit, and now he's at USC now because he was at OU, and he was one of them that was on the plane this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I'd been in coaching long enough. I was always told by older coaches that you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not looking for the next opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and that can go with anything. If you're not looking for a better job, then, you're doing yourself a disservice. Just, kind of just sitting there.
Uh-huh. Just the nature of the game.
Yep, it is. But people that have never been around it, they don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, because they believe in good old-fashioned loyalty, and good old-fashioned loyalty is good. It sounds good. It is good. It looks good, but hey, you bring a little green into that loyalty, loyalty will dry up real quick.
Yeah, and look what the loyalty's done to the Texas Tech football program. I mean, I don't know.
It's like that movie. What is it? Wall Street. Greed is good to a certain extent.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that I don't think there's loyalty anymore. I think it's pure money that drives everything anyway. I think when it comes to bringing coaches with you, it's more or less who believes in your system and who doesn't, because he's not taking Riles or Landry's not taking his offensive coordinator, is he?
No.
But
Well,
he's taking his wide receivers coach.
your wide receivers coach, the defensive coordinator, and the strength coach. Well, at least those were the three that were with him on the plane this morning.
Yeah, man. I mean, Lincoln Riley is his own offensive coordinator. He doesn't need an OC per se.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know if Cliff goes to Oklahoma, it's just another Chris Beard deal.
Yeah, Lubbock would burn to the ground.
Those lime scooters would be everywhere on fire.
Yeah. All right, man. So last week, everybody had a good week but Doc. Doc had a horrible week.
Hey, Doc, he's not here to relish
Yeah.
it.
So Preston went 4-2.
Let's go.
Dwayne went 4-2. And then Doc went 2-4.
That damn Packers game last night.
Yeah. So since Doc isn't here, I'm going to pick for him. So right now in the lead, we got Preston at 10-8. Doc's just at 500 with 9-9, and then Preston's just below 500 with 8-10.
Wait, I thought I was in the lead.
You are in the lead.
You said Preston again.
Oh, Dwayne has 8-10. You know what? No, stay over there. Stay in your lane, bro. I got you. No, so that's okay. Let me say it again. Preston, you're at 10-8. Doc is 1 game back with 9-9. Dwayne is 2 games back with 8-10. Of course, Dwayne missed the 1 week, and my son had to pick for him, which was a horrible idea, by the way. So, all right. So this week's game, since it's championship week in college football, we're just doing straight college. We're not doing any NFL. I really don't want to pick between, the Bucks and the Falcons or the Patriots and the whoever they play. They play somebody good too. So
I had an interest in the game last night because I knew I'd pick the Chargers or the Rams. I mean,
Yeah, I was watching each game very closely.
Yeah. So the first game we got is in the Pac-12, Oregon against Utah. So Oregon number 10, Utah number 14. Oregon lost. They beat Oregon State 38-29 in the Civil War. And then Utah beat Colorado 28-13. So who you got in number 10 Oregon versus number 14 Utah for the Pac-10?
are they, is that a home and home or?
No,
Neutral?
all these games are at a neutral site.
Yeah.
The Big Ten championship's at the Rose Bowl. Not the Big Ten, the Pac, no. Hell, I don't know. They're all at neutral sites. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Oregon.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my loyalties here. Give me them Ducks.
Yeah, I'll take the Ducks for the Doc. I think after that loss they had, and then they bounced back against Oregon State, which is a big rivalry game for them. I think they'll be all right. I don't think they're going to play super good. I don't see them blowing out Utah, but I see them playing pretty good. So next one we got is number 9 Baylor against number 5 Oklahoma State. Baylor just came off a 27-24 victory over Texas Tech here in Lubbock. No, it was in Baylor. And then Oklahoma State just rocked Oklahoma 37-33 in that game. So, again, this is one that's going to be, I think, at Jimmy's World, or John's World, or Jerry's World. Yeah. So who you got in Baylor? Number 9 Baylor, number 5 Oklahoma State.
I'm going Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Give me Oklahoma State. I'm betting on the guy with the mullet to take it.
Plus, man, that was huge beating Oklahoma.
Yeah, because Gundy's a man. Yeah, I'm going to go with them too. Their defense is stifling. I mean, They took care of Caleb Williams in Oklahoma like nobody's business. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma State too. Do you think Oklahoma State has the toughest defense in football right now?
Right now, they're pretty close, but I'm willing to put Georgia's defense.
Yeah, I was going to say they're top 5, top 2 for sure. Georgia, they're probably, I don't know if they're interchangeable, but they're pretty damn good. Both of them are pretty damn good.
Okay, so this is kind of intriguing and scary because it's two teams that are fixing to come to the Big 12. It's Cincinnati versus Houston. Cincinnati, of course, is number 3 and undefeated. Houston's number 16. Okay, like I said, the scary part, they're both about to come to the Big 12, and we have enough problems with we would have problems with El Paso right now. So I'm just saying.
And UTSA.
Yeah, and UTS. No, UTS, didn't they lose?
Yeah, they got beat by North Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost.
Yeah. So who do you got in Cincinnati? They just won 35-13 over Eastern Carolina. And then Houston won 45-17 over UConn. So who do you have? Number 3, Cincinnati, number 16, Houston.
Give me the Bearcats. I mean, I can't believe in Dana Holgorsen. Dana Holgorsen, like, he coaches really good teams. He wins games, but when he comes down to the wire, you need to win a game. Can't do it. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them too. I don't know. And granted, it was game 1. I wasn't impressed with very impressed with Houston whenever they played Tech. And like I said, it was early, but I mean, I'm going with them with Cincinnati.
I'm predicting right now, because I know college football's fixed. Houston is going to beat Cincinnati. Georgia's going to beat Alabama, but Alabama stays in the top 4. So they can be in the BCS. I'm predicting it. Hold it to the bank. This is what's fixing to happen.
Back up the brinks. You willing to bet yourself?
Damn.
Probably not that, but still, $5 on it. Houston beats Cincinnati. Bet $5.
I was swinging. I was going that way, but Preston started talking about Dana Holgorsen and not being able to play in big or coach in big games. And
dude, I tell you what, when Hoagie was at West Virginia, he coached in some big games and he pulled out wins against Oklahoma, Texas, just out of nowhere, just out of left field. I feel like it's a Hoagie Saturday. I feel like Cincinnati's going down, and then Alabama gets to stay in because God forbid Alabama not be in the bowl championship series.
yeah,
I would love to see them play in the fucking Gator Bowl, though. I would love it. I would laugh the whole time.
they'd go to the damn Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
And play Tech.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Pittsburgh and Wake Forest. Pittsburgh just beat Syracuse 31-14. They're ranked 17th. Wake Forest just beat Boston College 41-10. So you got 17 Pitt against 18 Wake Forest. Who you taking in that game?
I'm going Pitt.
Give me those Demon Deacons.
Who you going?
The Wake Forest.
Can you tell me why?
I just believe in Wake Forest a little bit more. You know, Pittsburgh.
Why?
I saw them have a close game with UNC UNC at home. A very close overtime game, and UNC ain't very good.
Who's their starting quarterback?
I don't know who the starting quarterback is. I don't watch Pittsburgh football, except that one day that I watched them play UNC because I like Mac Brown.
They randomly have played Thursday game, so they have a good receiver and a good running back. So, and I read an article on them today, so I'm going with them, with Pitt.
You're on Pitt?
Yeah.
Man.
The receivers won the Biletnikoff last year, and then, the receiver won the Biletnikoff, and then the running back, I don't know if he was a runner-up or something for the Doak Walker.
Well, I don't know anything about him. So, and Dwayne made a little bit more of an argument because he may have not known anything, but he said they got a good running back and wide receivers. So,
yeah,
we're gonna go with Pitt for Doc. So,
sorry, I'm not a Yinzer. I'm not on my pulse on Pittsburgh sports.
everybody does. All right. So, next class we got Michigan and Iowa in the Big Ten championship. So Michigan, of course, just beat Ohio State 42-27, beat them pretty handily. That was a great game. I had never seen anything. Actually, no, I'm going to go to – and then Iowa won 28-21 over Nebraska. So you got number 2 Michigan and number 15 Iowa. Who do you got in that one?
Give me the Wolverines. I mean, like you said, they just beat Ohio State. Give me a pair of khakis because I'm rocking with Coach Harbaugh. And I mean, Iowa, they just beat Nebraska. If this was the 80s or 90s, it'd be a big deal. But hey, it's 2021. It's Nebraska. It ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. That's tough. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Michigan. That's a big win, and it's going to carry them on into Saturday.
So I love Michigan's quarterback. That was the first time I really watched Michigan play. I love Michigan's quarterback and their running back. I think the quarterback he'll be sitting the bench on Sundays, but he'll still be there. I don't trust Jim Harbaugh at all. I loved him in football. He was the comeback kid at the Colts when he played for them. Great Michigan quarterback. I don't trust him as a coach. What I do trust in is that student section, because after that Ohio State victory, that field was covered with blue.
Yeah.
And that was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. So that was one thing I wanted to ask you guys. Can you imagine winning a game like that, being a quarterback, having that many people around you? And when I watched him walk through all of the people and fans and stuff, everybody was tapping him on the helmet. And I'm not talking tapping, like they're all celebrating, like pounding on your helmet.
Yeah.
Like, brother, I would absolutely lose my mind. I would like, no, get me out of here. This is dumb. I'll go stand up there in the stands and wave at people. I ain't doing this stuff. So,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, we saw it when we beat Iowa State here. I mean, imagine if we beat like Oklahoma actually for once in our lives, or if we beat Alabama.
All right, here we go. So the big game, the SEC championship. You got Georgia, and you got Alabama, right? Georgia just thropped, Georgia Tech 45-0, but it's Georgia Tech, so whatever. And then Alabama just beat Auburn in 4 overtimes, 24-22. So who you got in the SEC championship?
I think we've said our piece about this, how we all feel about Alabama. Give me them Bulldogs from Athens to come out there and just put Alabama out of their misery and hopefully get them out of the CFP. Probably not, but their best effort.
Man, I'm going to go with Georgia. I'm going to go with Georgia.
I hate Alabama, but I know something's going to happen.
See, and that's kind of what I was thinking.
See, I'm going against my old adage, is never bet against old St. Nick, but I'm betting against old St. Nick here. So,
but who is Georgia really played this year? Like, that's what I mean. They beat Florida, which it's Florida.
I mean, that's true, but at least they've beaten their schedule like handedly. It's not like Alabama where like they struggle with LSU or they struggle here, they struggle there.
I think Auburn was up for it though. I mean, a big rivalry game, so I think they were up for it just like anybody would. Anybody's going to get up for a rivalry game, but I think they played Alabama better than anybody.
I mean, and no disrespect to that quarterback at Auburn, but he played like not very well. He played not very well.
Yeah, see, and I didn't watch it. I didn't start watching it until late into the game. Probably the second or third overtime is whenever I started watching. I didn't even realize that they were playing, honestly, until I guess it was the tail end of that Michigan and Ohio State game. They kept doing cut-ins of it or whatever, so I ended up watching the tail end of it. But I don't know. A part of me wants to go with Alabama and Saban, and then. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Georgia.
I will say that Georgia has beat forward-ranked teams. They beat number 11 Notre Dame, number 22 Clemson, 23 Arkansas, and 25 Kentucky. So they have pulled their weight. You go look at Alabama's schedule, and Alabama's beat
New Mexico State.
They beat Alabama beat,
like we said, LSU, Florida.
Mercer, Florida, Southern Miss. They beat number 8 Mississippi. They lost to A&M. They beat Arkansas. So they've played 3 ranked teams and lost and won 2.
Yeah.
So, which I think is I just think that's dumb. I think they should have to play more, but whatever. That's mine. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Georgia because I don't like Nick Saban at all. Well, it's not I don't like Nick Saban. I just like every other sport, you hate a dynasty. You're ready for him to topple. You know, I hated Tom Brady with New England, but now I love him at Tampa Bay just because he actually has to play to win. So
who do y'all think is going to be the next dynasty if Alabama's is over?
Oh man, that's a tough one. This is because it's so competitive nowadays.
I still believe a lot in Oregon.
Yeah.
I think once they get all their pieces together, I think, to tell you the truth, I think that Lincoln Riley can do it at USC.
I was say, yeah, give me USC because I mean that's an easy road. Pac-12 compared to SEC. You know, like I said, give him a year, and you know he'll bring talent. Get the.
Are y'all buying in?
I think that's the biggest thing. Is I mean, it's just like Lubbock. You're recruiting Southern California versus Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't compete Norman, Oklahoma with, you know, Southern California, especially I would look at it as a perspective just for NIL deals.
Yeah.
Look at how much more the population is and what you can do with it.
Yeah. And plus you're an 18-year-old boy. Like, why would you not want to be in LA? Damn. Are y'all buying into that he was scared to compete and coach in the SEC? Are y'all buying into that at all?
Maybe a little bit, you know, because there's obviously gonna be growing pains when you go to a new conference and you're playing new competition, and you know, we know it just like Oklahoma, just like Texas Tech. Even though Texas Tech has no right to be this way, you lose one game, they're like, oh, that's the worst coaching job I've ever seen. I could be a better coach. Get him out of there. He deserves to be left on the tarmac. You know.
See, I'm just waiting till next year whenever McGuire loses, you know, 2 of the first 5 games or whatever, and they're already wanting to fire him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was scared to compete and coach in the SEC. I just don't think he'd be able to have as much success as he has now in the Big 12.
Oh, for sure.
No, watching Arkansas come from the SEC and throttle Texas was I think that was a big opening call for Texas and OU to say, oh man, what did we just do?
Yeah.
So when they get into it against a Georgia and an Alabama and an LSU, and you know, I'm not saying that we don't have good boys, but I mean, to get throp like that, like I would really love to see Texas or OU early in the season play an SEC team just to see.
Yeah, like a measuring stick.
See what you got. And I'm talking like LSU or, you know, not Alabama, Georgia, but I mean,
like Florida.
Maybe Florida. Yeah, I think Florida would be a more Big 12 caliber.
Yeah, they're kind of mid-level.
Yeah.
I believe in Oklahoma a lot more than I believe in Texas for damn sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to see who the coach is, and then kind of the direction that they'll go.
Yeah. God, I hope Cliff goes to OU just because I want to see people lose their ever-loving minds.
Oh yeah. The city
Really
would go.
That would be like the ultimate. Oh man.
I don't know how much he's making at Arizona, but I wonder if OU could pay. I'm sure OU could pay him.
They could.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, the reason I thought Cliff would do good in the NFL is because he doesn't have to recruit for defense.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He can worry about his offense, and his defense is golden. And the defense there has been all right, but he comes back, he's got to go into it because their defense was horrible when he was here.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma is somewhat known for their defense. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think, you know, Cliff, he's kind of gotten sour on the college game, you know, having to recruit, stuff like that. Granted, Oklahoma, it'd be a lot easier because it's Oklahoma. But, you know, you'd have to have him recruit against Alabama, you know, you'd have him recruit against Notre Dame and some of these schools for defensive talent. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm curious where that linebacker from Cooper is going to end up. I saw that. I don't know. I hadn't seen anything, but I had read that he decommitted from OU. Do y'all know if that's true or not?
Yeah, that's true. He decommitted from OU. He opened up his recruiting deal.
Really? I wonder where he's going to end up. Everybody's like, he should stay here at Tech. I'm like, yeah, but the chances of that happening, slim to none.
Well,
if you're a defensive kid, you go to a defensive school. You go to a Big Ten, you go to an SEC, someplace that's known for defense. I'm not going to send him. I can't even tell you the linebacker's name for Tech.
I can because we had that kid in class.
Yeah.
Oh,
Booyah Randall.
Yeah. Brandon.
yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Yeah.
Tech isn't known for defense, right?
Yeah. And my whole deal is like, if he wanted to stay here or if he wanted to play at Tech, he would have already committed a long time ago, or he would have committed with whenever they hired Joey McGuire. Like Tech's, I don't think Tech's an option for him. Like he's better than staying here at Tech.
Plus,
Yeah,
he's an 18-year-old. He's from Lubbock. He's gonna want to go somewhere else. He doesn't want to stay home.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, I'm 18 years old. I'm going to USC. Sign me up.
I'll go carry the bags.
Yeah.
Tell Lincoln to call me. I'll just go up there and carry the bags for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a good little salary. I'll sit out there in South California, and not do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm with Dustin. Go to a defensive conference where you have defensive talent shine. Like I'm not gonna go to the Big 12 where they make me look like Swiss cheese and the defense can't stop a party car. So
Especially at Tech.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man, guys. Well, good job. Good episode. Sorry the doc couldn't be there. He'll be back next week. So we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
take it.